All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for our next fight. Making his way to the cage and fighting out of the red corner, it's Edris Zabi.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to Cagezilla 84. We are moving into our next fight here with Edris Zabi, looking to continue his undefeated streak here, fighting out of Kaizen MMA.
Yeah, excited to have Edris on. He was really happy to be part of the event. A guy who is very strong in his faith and his belief, and he said God has already written what will happen here inside the Cagezilla cage. He just has to show up and be present. So really focused young man. Got a very keen eye on the flyweight title fight here tonight. This is the #1 contender fight, so the winner of this will fight for our flyweight title. And Edris, it really does have his eye on it, and but not looking past Kaelob Alger. He knows Kaelob Alger is a dangerous veteran of the sport, and is certainly not looking past him, but coming in with full confidence.
Yeah, Edris Zabi, you can see fired up, ready for this one. Also, apparently, seeing what God's written for him. A little bit of an Oshery fan over there. That is a joke for 3 people maybe watching this.
One that I did not get.
It's all right. Fight Genius by my side here, ready for this one. Let's throw it over to Chris Fuller to introduce his opponent.
And his opponent, making his way to the cage and fighting out of the blue corner, it's Kaelob Alger.
This is going to be a very tough challenge. Kaelob Alger, 23 years old, yet already a Cagezilla veteran, coming through at 2-3 at a Tactical Combat Academy. He's looking to take that O out from Edris Zabi. Let's see if he can do it in style.
Oh, Killer K, come out. Killer K coming out. He says he trains with Robert Sturgill and Giorgio Spinakis. He has to be in their corner, and sure enough, he is. And they're trying to make it 2-0 for those guys. He trains at a Tactical Combat Academy. And man, what a good gym that is. I know they got some BKFC guys in there and some pros. And Kaelob is one of those guys, man. I've been watching him since maybe his first fight in Cagezilla. He's got all the talent in the world. Hasn't come out on the winning side of things all the time. I think he's learning as he goes. But a young man that is on a mission, whether he's taking a step upwards or has to take a step backwards, it hasn't discouraged him one single bit. And I know if he's training with Top Gun and Spinakis GS3, he's in good hands, and he's been getting some good rounds. So man, what a #1 contender flyweight fight here with him and Edris. I'm really excited to see this one.
Going to be keeping an eye out for him as a fighter with a whole lot to still prove. And so while we have a lot of tape on him, his story is not written just yet. So let's see what he's going to do. Face it off against Edris Zabi here. These fighters preparing themselves mentally, physically, spiritually to take to the cage for what is sure to be an incredible 7th fight of the night.
I love the old school 50 Cent, when it rains, it pours. He's coming out to that. That gets me going, baby. And man, set the setting for a beautiful flyweight fight here. Let's send it to Chris to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds, and it will decide the Cagezilla flyweight #1 contender. This bout is brought to you by Marine Service Company, veteran owned and operated. And now, starting out, fighting out of the red corner, standing 5'10" and weighing in at 126 pounds, fighting out of Kaizen MMA with a record of 1 win and no defeats, it's Edris Zabi! And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, standing 5'9" and weighing in at 126 pounds, fighting out of Tactical Combat Academy with a record of 2 wins and 3 defeats, it's Kaelob Killer K Alger! Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for three-minute rounds, and it is tied the #1 contender for the Cagezilla flyweight title. It is brought to you by our friends at Marine Service Company, veteran-owned and veteran-operated, and your referee is Michael Dolman.
That was beautiful.
All right, Brent, getting this underway. Michael Dolman, center of the ring. These two fighters, hungry for this one. You talked about it a little bit before, but these guys with a whole lot to prove. Edris Zabi, just at the start of his career here in Cagezilla. Killer K looking to turn the tide, move up to a 50-50 record overall. Start with a leg kick, trade it right back. Snappy attack upside the head there by Kaelob Alger.
Yeah.
Zabi gonna retreat.
Nice right hand from K right off the bat, and looking to connect there. But you know, Zabi's background, he started in boxing, so Kaelob better come in guarded and protect, keeping that chin down a little bit. I know he tends to keep that chin high in the air.
Absolutely,
so he better stay guarded, because Zabi can capitalize on those punches as well.
Brent, you took the words out of my mouth. That has been the tail of the tape for Kaelob Alger. He's got all the talent in the world, like you were saying right before the fight.
Wow, he connected on some nice shots there, and Zabi did not like that, and I think he's gaining a little bit his composure back.
He's got all the talent in the world. He's just a little bit reckless, and that, you know, of course, that comes with experience. He'll settle down a little bit, but
yeah. That being said, I mean, I can understand why he's reckless, because he gets good advantage in aggressive scenarios like that one. In fact, he still has control. Zabi in a tough position, head locked up, can't really find separation, and Killer K is happy to run him down.
Wow, sinks in that anaconda choke. Man, Killer K really showing some improvement.
Beautiful.
And wow, he might finish this choke here. Zabi might have a little bit of a defense trying to get to his back. But, man, you can really see the improvement in Killer K's game. You know, in his last fight, he showed some takedowns and really determined to get in on those takedowns. And, wow, if he can put the grappling game together with his heavy hands, he's going to be a tough guy to beat here pretty soon.
If I'm him right now, while his opponent has his legs straight out, I'm going to release this and try to step over into a mount.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that anaconda was not working.
Right. He's getting to a north-south position now. He might have to abandon the choke. He's going to maybe like a shoulder choke, a Monson choke there from the top. But that's about all he's got. I agree with you, Chris, that he should possibly cut his losses and try to get good top position.
Yeah, now his opponent is turtling a little bit with his knees up. It might be a little tougher, but he had a perfect opportunity there a second ago. The thing about Kaelob Alger right now, he's showing a different wrinkle in his game. This is these submissions techniques and ground techniques is something we don't typically see out of him. He's usually a crazy on his feet fighter. I like this new wrinkle.
Yeah.
Absolutely, back control, trying to take him down, body triangle locked in, and he will capitalize on a big opening that is uncharacteristic of Zabi's fighting style.
Speaking of new wrinkle, he was just talking about it. Look at the slick grappling from Kaelob. He's going to ultimately run out of time here, but wow, what an impressive first round from Killer K.
Absolutely. Total control the entire way through that round #1, and so while it didn't necessarily lead to a tap out, it didn't lead to a knockout, ultimately, Kaelob Alger is up a round and seems to have his game plan on lock. Nothing was working for Edris Zabi there.
Yeah, Zabi was coming into this fight with a lot of confidence, having only one fight, and could have possibly been looking at that flyweight title fight already and overlooking Alger, and Alger proving already that he's not a guy to be looked over.
Yeah, absolutely not. You saw exactly what made Alger so strong in the fights that he won, and still a huge talking point in the fights that he lost. Aggressive striking early, destabilizing Zabi's base, but the fact he then, instead of just crashing through once again, decided to go for submission, I think, Chris, could speak to the fact he's beginning to bring that maturity to his fighting style that will deny future opponents the opportunity to capitalize on recklessness.
Yeah, here we go, round 2. Certainly a dominant round 1 for Kaelob. Let's see if Zabi can turn things around and possibly start to get some of his offense going here in this round #2.
Yeah, Zabi didn't look too good coming out of that body triangle. Seemed like he was trying to catch his breath, just trying to get his wits about him. That's a lot of pressure on the neck for a long time. Even if the Anaconda vice didn't fully work out, he's still in a tough position. That being said, looks a little bit more aware now. Happy to play the striking game once again, trying to take center stage away from Kaelob Alger.
Wow, nice
But
right
he needs
hand.
to make marks in this. He knows he's down around.
Yeah, and Kay, man, staying really composed. You know, Edris trying to hunt him down and get his back to the wall.
Oh.
But ultimately, I think Caleb's coming in with the more significant shots to the face.
Absolutely, and you see just how much ground Zabi has to give up whenever Killer K decides to go forward.
And I'm surprised that Zabi isn't using his length more and keeping him at bay like we saw.
Good symmetrical takedown. Big reversal at the very end there. Zabi almost gets all of that and control. Will just have to settle for a scramble back up, back against the cage as well. Kaelob Alger trying to fish hook that left leg of Zabi. Zabi gonna rotate, get pushing advantage, and now takes his opponent over to the side.
And that's exactly what happens if you don't use your length against a shorter fighter. I mean, he hasn't been active with his jab. He hasn't been active with the kick. And just as I say that, they separate and he starts throwing.
Yeah, but Zabi really starting to find a mark and putting his hands together. He's starting to slip and rip.
That's what we need.
That's what I wanted to see from Zabi.
Yep.
And that's why I was saying that first round is so uncharacteristic. This is the Zabi we know of in his one victory in Cagezilla. He's beginning to reassert himself, bringing it back here. And Kaelob Alger has to be careful because I don't think those tricks from round number one are going to work again. He needs to reach deeper into his tool bag.
Yeah.
Brent, were you saying before the fight started that Kaelob has recently switched schools?
No, not switch schools. I believe he's still with Tactical Combat Academy, but he trains with Giorgio Spinakis, who was our #1 contender lightweight fighter tonight.
Okay.
As well as Top Gun Sturgill, who just got the big victory here earlier tonight. So, you know, training with some dogs, just like himself. And sometimes that's what you need in the training room.
Well, he's doing something right because this is the most complete fight, like well-rounded fight that I've seen out of him so far.
Yeah, it's a perfect mixture. You know, last fight I thought he was a little bit grapple heavy and wasn't doing anything with the positions.
Yeah.
Which ultimately ended up costing him the fight, I believe, on the judges' scorecards. But this fight, he's mixing it up really nicely. I thought he stunned Zabi in the first round, ultimately leading to his top control and everything in that first round. This second round's a lot closer with Zabi starting to find his range.
Solid contact being made. Clappers are already out, though. Not a lot left in this round. Well, we will see these two struggle again at the very end to try to find a takedown. We are going to return to neutral in a third decisive round. You can see on the Kaizen corner, Liam Pinero, one of our champion fighters actually over there with a big smile on his face. Very different body language out of how he's reading that second round. And we could be seeing Zabi turn the corner.
Yeah. Liam giving him a big high five, big smile, and ultimately trying to at least put in his mind, hey, you got that second round. Let's go into this third round and take over this fight. So great stuff from the corner work. And Kaelob Alger also in a funny position right now because he's got to come out here and I think win this third round also and make a statement. I thought he had a very dominant first round, but that doesn't mean he's going to pull out this third round. So he's got to go in and do the work as well. So both corners, I'm sure, heavy on the ear, like, hey, this is the third round. This is what we train for, moments like this. So go out and seize the moment.
And I do wonder if Kaelob Alger is going to decide to just try to push a grapple fight early in this one because I got to say, second round, the striking game actually didn't seem to be favoring him nearly as much as what we saw at round number one. I think Zabi maybe was just a bit off tempo to start things, has reasserted himself quite nicely, and yet again is going to be center of the ring to start this one off.
Yeah, I thought Kaelob had great success with that right hand. I don't know if he's trying to set it up with that inside leg kick. But I'd like to see Kaelob start throwing that right hand a little bit more. There's a little step in one. And let's see if Zabi's going to let off some firecrackers too because he was starting to rip him in the second round.
So I like him going to that outside leg kick, Brent. Maybe that'll nullify some takedown attempts by Kaelob Alger.
Yeah, when you get guys with opposite stance, you know, they're leading with that same leg. Oh, Kaelob trying to really solidify the fight on the ground, looks like. And if he can get this takedown, he might just do that.
Big big lip. Ashitori into the takedown. Zabi in a scramble situation gets to his feet. Kaelob Alger unable to bring it home, but showing that he still has angles.
That was a crowd pleaser for sure.
That was a nice big single leg, a Daniel Cormier special. And man, really, really nice stuff from Kaelob. Nice head kick there from Zabi.
Yep. Kaelob Alger had the guard up for the most part here, but it's pretty clear that he's a little bit more uncomfortable now versus Zabi on the feet. I think that he wants another takedown. He hears the crowd cheer. He sees that he gets scoring opportunities. There we go. Another single leg. Zabi up against the ringside wall.
Wow, he's going to get this one. Oh, beautiful.
Another dump, trying to get back control. Good job by Zabi, just immediately seeing the opportunity to spring back to his feet, trying to push down, move that guard past the hips so he can slip out of the situation.
Yeah, a little cage grab from Zabi there to get up, but it's all right if the ref don't see it. And, man, you know, Kaelob really fighting for that. Yep, there's another cage grab from him. And Kaelob really fighting for that takedown and going to look like finishing top position here. And who knows, man? This might.
Oh! Almost converted that into a suplex. I've never seen that before. Great stuff out of Alger.
How do you pick somebody up off the ground just to slam them? You already had him down, Kaelob.
That's the second time Kaelob almost slammed him right on top of his head.
I made the joke in our production meeting, are we doing pro wrestling now with all these special entrances? Forget pro wrestling inside of the cage now as well.
Yeah. Nice turn there from Zabi. He's got to turn this fight around. He's got 20 seconds to do it. I think if he gets a takedown, it could change things. But let's see what happens here. I'd like to see him break out and maybe give us 10 seconds of Max Holloway in the center of the cage. We'll see.
Gonna need to. Good job by Zabi trying to become the central pivot there within the takedown attempt. Unfortunately, Alger just has such good torso control that this will end in stalemate. But with those takedowns here in round number 3, I think Kaelob Alger has reasserted himself, and after a dominant first round, this could be his fight.
Yeah, wow. I thought he edged it out there with that control there in the third round. You know, 1 definitely went to Alger, 2 up in the air, 3.
Alger.
Probably Alger if I had to call it. So I think I know which way this one's going.
Well, something happened right there at the end, Brent, and I know it didn't make you too happy because you wanted to see some Max Holloway action, but Kaelob Alger showed a lot of maturity going for the double underhook there instead of exposing himself and something dangerous happened. He knew he had the fight potentially won, and he did the safe move. So good maturity there by Kaelob Alger.
Yeah, no, he looked great. Like you say, he maintained control, and sometimes you maintain that control, and that's what's winning you the fight, right? The control positions, and he just kept on it. And man, we really have been seeing some new wrinkles in Killer K's fight game, man. I think Chris Fuller said it exactly right, that he's got some new wrinkles to his game. He's starting to become a way more dangerous fighter all around. And when you get a guy with a couple losses on his record, man, he's not afraid to get in there and leave it all out there. And I think Killer K's coming into his own right now and really going to be something special to see. He earned his flyweight title shot here tonight to get back to that gold. So congrats to him. We'll see how they call it. I thought it was a close fight, but ultimately he might have edged it out. Let's see how the judges scored it. Let's send it down to Chris.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. All 3 judges have scored this bout 29-28 in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. Out of the blue corner, it's Kaelob Alger.
There you go. As expected, Brett, Kaelob Alger is our new #1 contender in the flyweight division.
Wow, so proud of this young man. Look at all that coming out of him. You can just see all the emotion come out of him. I know he's a believer in Christ and what a good guy he is. And man, really happy for this young athlete to get back in the win column. He deserves it. And great performance, man. Putting the strikes together, putting the grappling together, and man, this is what God had written for him.
Like and subscribe to Cagezilla.